welcome to the Destin Business Forum, brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Amy Perry, and today I have two really funny people. I'm sorry. Harris Business Machines. I have Tammy Laborde. You are the Senior Account Manager, is that right?
Mm-hmm. For Fort Walton and Destin area.
Okay, the good spots.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Scott Brom, you are the Sales Manager for?
I cover the entire area, basically from Tallahassee to Fort Walton Beach.
So you do it all?
Yes.
Or you like to think that you do it all?
I can.
Okay, all right. So for all kidding aside, for those people that do not know what Harris Business Machines is, tell us.
Well, Mr. Harris started Harris Business Machines in 1990. He came from the typewriter industry and kind of built his business based on a strong customer service model. And so he brought that into Canon. We sell Canon copiers, Kyocera printers, and OSE. So we kind of do a little bit of all.
Okay.
All your printing, copying, document imaging needs.
All right, so if a company says, all right, I'm getting rid of all my old, they just are all breaking at different times, I'm going to go with brand new, you can help them with that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're a company that we try to pride ourselves on being a total office solution provider.
Okay.
There's a lot of differences and challenges that businesses are going through these days. Things that used to be standard office procedures 5 years ago has completely changed. And so we're really going through a transitional phase with businesses, and we as a company we really want to set ourselves up as a consultant.
Gotcha.
So if we got a business that's trying to transition from where they were 5 years ago and where they want to be in 5 years into the future, we want to be able to be that type of company that can provide a service. They can say, okay, what is your business needs? What are your future needs in your business model? And we want to try to produce and make a solution that's going to fit that model.
So is it mainly just copiers? Is it other types of machines or?
Copiers right now, again, the industry's really going through a transition. Copiers years ago just made copies. That's all they did. Back in the late 1990s, the early 2000s, copiers transitioned into multifunctional platforms, MFPs. That's what everybody's talking about. These things now copy, print, fax, and scan. They have the ability to replace a desktop printer that may not be most cost effective.
Right.
They have software platforms so they can integrate with third-party software to be able to provide document management solution, cloud-based portals, different things such as that. So it's really a wide area where we have the ability to affect the business and the business future.
Do you have machines? I know just personally in our office, and we're relatively small, but we have a lot of copiers, and we'll lease one for a while and then end up buying it, and you think, okay, well, I've got 3 copiers, I'm good now. There's only so many attorneys that are using this, and then they come in and they show us the next newest and greatest thing. Right. It's like, oh, we gotta have that. That'll clean my floors too, and make copies, and their color, and they staple. Do you see a future where everybody has their own copier multi-tasking machine, or is it going to be just that one, or is it?
Well, it really depends on the business itself. I mean, we'll say being a business owner, your needs are going to be different from an employee. You may be more concerned about security and privacy of your business profitabilities, those types of things, employee payroll, HR issues, those types of things. So you may have a dedicated device in your office, whereas you may have office personnel that may not be required to have a dedicated device. In order to save money to get away from those desktop printers, that desktop cost, you may have a centralized device that everyone can print to.
And you can keep track of it.
And keep track of it. And Canon has the ability to be able to give you some privacy, secure print, convenience printing, different things such as that, where you can release jobs. So there's a lot of solutions at Canon, knowing the different scenarios and different businesses. Canon tries to put together a business model on the device that can take care of that.
So you tailor it towards...
It really all depends.
Each account is individual.
Okay.
And their problems and solutions are all different.
Okay. And when we talk about Canon, I know I asked you this before, but this is the Canon that does the cameras.
Yeah, they make cameras.
Okay.
They're real big in the medical field as well. Canon... we were discussing earlier, Tammy is relatively new with us as a company, and Canon has a training program that they send all salespeople to, and they call it boot camp, but they really put the people through the paces as far as equipment knowledge and such as that. And one of the things that she learned that really impressed her is that Canon's been has the third most patents than any in companies throughout the world for the last 20-something years. You know, they really are the forerunner, not only in the copier business, but cameras, radiology equipment, medical equipment. They're just been a good, sound, round company for many years. How many years was it? 20-something years.
Right.
They've been the top three.
Yeah. So for the past 18 years, they've been in the top three. They filter, put a lot of money back into research and development. Because everything, just like, your business, it's changed, over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, you constantly have to, figure out what's the next best strategy for your clients. And that's what they do. That's pretty big.
It's funny that you just happen to carry a lot of Canon because, again, I just thought of Canon as the really cool, pretty easy to use cameras. I have one.
Beautiful
I love
colors.
it. Yeah, love it. And it's just easy to use.
Absolutely.
But I got a Canon printer. I was telling you before, I got a Canon printer, and I was so impressed with how easy, I don't know a lot about printers and hooking them, and I hooked it up, and it took me maybe 5 minutes. It was like when I hooked up my Apple computer, really easy, user-friendly, print from my phone. The other ones, there was just always some kind of hang-up. So that's interesting. I didn't know they did printers. I really didn't, and I'm on my...
And that's interesting you say that because Canon's been the #1 copier industry, in the industry for the last 27 years, and been #1. They are the forerunner in patents in the industry for copiers. But many businesses are going through a lot of transitions. People are looking at how to cut cost. 5-6 years ago, people were cutting employees, and they're trying to figure out other ways, and they're looking at printers, desktop printers, and the cost per copy on those, and what are other opportunities? What are other things that we can do besides, the money that we're spending on toner cartridges every month,
right?
And it gets very costly. And so, as a company, we want to provide solutions that will help, those factors.
Do you find that it's a little easier now to have a machine that does a lot of things? Because I found when they first came out, they stapled, they collated, they were color, they were this. Something would always go wrong with one of those parts, and the whole thing was down.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they kind of got it together.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have, we would literally have one machine that was just for copies because the other fancy one was always...
Yeah. And that's not the case anymore. In Canon, one of the things that they have done in the very beginning of the industry, they kept their boards independent, the copy, print, fax, and scan. So if you had a situation where one of those were bad, at least the other functions would work. So Canon's, again, has been the leader in the industry for thinking of things just like what you're talking about. And what we see is people that do Canon, historically, once they do and use Canon, you very rarely see them go back to use anything else.
Yeah. It's just coincidence, but I find that I really like that. Okay, we're almost out of time. Anything that I did not ask you about that you want?
Big thing that people are looking at this day and time is printing costs for desktop printers, and we have solutions for that. And it's not just putting it all into a multifunctional device. And we'd love to have the opportunity to talk and discuss and consult with people on how they can get their arms around printing cost.
Okay, great, good deal. All right, we'll come back. Okay,
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be back.